Sunday Soul. Um, let's get into today's topic. So, this situation involves a lot of people who have a lot of personal problems with you, okay? With the Hierophant reversed, this is about your unconventional relationships with people. This could be about a romantic partner, but these could be other kinds of relationships as well. This feels like people who you are, as time goes on, you are losing interest in these people. Their role of importance is declining, and a lot of these people are going out of business. So, if you are, you're, some of you guys, if this is about business, this is about a merger or acquisition, and it's because these people are lame, okay? If this is about a romantic partner, I definitely think this is a divine masculine, and you guys have been on a tantric journey together, and but some of you guys, this person has served their spiritual purpose in your life, and some of you guys, you have, you need to decide whether or not you want to be a mother, and or whether or not you want to have kids. If you want to have kids, then I see this relationship maturing into that. But for others, you have not been able to release resentment, and this person may not have been able to release resentment either. It's being divine masculine and divine feminine doesn't mean that your relationship has to work out. Some of you, this person met you doing something taboo or unconventional, and they may have fallen in love with you or got you pregnant. Um, or you feel like there were choices in this relationship that you needed to expand your understanding around. This relationship is, you're definitely grateful for each other, and there is hope for the relationship, especially if you have children with this person. There is hope for a relationship. But I think that after everything has gone down, some of you guys are deciding that you do not want children, and that you don't care to release the resentment in order to have a child with this person. Is it true that the only people who have a stake in the future are those with children? No, you're not the absolute authority, and we don't care to have children, especially not with the likes of you. There are cycles with this divine masculine that, although it fulfills your spiritual purpose, this person have been betraying your confidence, or they have been losing their personal identity. This person has not been able to resist you because you are irresistible, and but they have some issues with your unconventional relationship that they have been strategizing. This could be about age. This could be about your occupation, especially if you do something taboo for work. This person keeps projecting onto your occupation or your age, but this is them truly lacking accountability for their engagement in the activity. If they have a problem with your occupation, some of them are getting fired from this occupation, for one. And I also feel like this is, if this is about your occupation, they met you working your occupation. Um, if you are a spicy accountant, you met this person doing the same, very same thing that they're judging you about. So while they were there inquiring about a transaction for spiciness, you were there offering a transaction for spiciness. So they have been having a problem with your occupation, or they have had a problem with your authority that may even expand to an age difference relationship, age difference problem. Some of these people have a big problem with you for being so young and so successful. And I think that that is truly the challenge that we are having with our authorities that have been corrupt, is that We are very advanced young professionals in this collective, and there are a group of authorities where they have been having a problem with the youth expanding. Hi, you guys, welcome in. These people have a big personal problem with you. So if you've been fighting a war against injustice, where it's a no-brainer what the correct decision is, this projection is a personal problem about you being young and successful, or about your occupation. And believe it or not, some of them, they do love you, but through this whole journey of fulfilling your spiritual purpose, they have grown a resentment. Some of them have been in isolation while you have been away at work. They have had expectations about you receiving their gift. um, they grow resentment towards you while you are away working, and they have been hiding this resentment. You may have met this person at work, so the very reason why they fell in love with you working together is the same reason why they're growing resentment while you're away working. If they met you doing something taboo, they were also there engaging to do something taboo. So this is a big bias and judgment where they don't hold responsibility for themselves. Hi, you guys, welcome in. Thank you. Uh, Seriously, hi Daniel. This person has definitely been your muse. They definitely have been a source of inspiration. They may have even empowered you with logic, support, and structure. But this person has truly been inept in their approach to your relationship as the King of Pentacles in the reverse. They have been driven by selfishness, greediness, and their own desires, and they have not been able to fulfill in the dynamic with you. And I think that that is also increasing resentment, where you need to decide whether you'll stay in isolation or you will settle for this complacent person who cannot hold responsibility for their role and their engagement in the same activities. So they flee away from the relationship when they are struggling with the unconventional aspect of the relationship, like age or your occupation. If this is a racial difference, trust and believe me that this is not multiculturalism. There are fundamental differences, and these people truly struggle with that. They may act like they are symmetrical, but they are not at all honoring the relationships because of these unconventional aspects that would suggest a shift in the power dynamic, or would suggest something otherwise that they have believed, that altering that has made them question their entire reality. Okay. um and I think that they have grown a resentment about unconventional aspects of your relationship, whether it's about race, age, or your occupation. So it is a miracle that they have, increased your consciousness. You may have even had tantric sex with these people, and you may have been able to find the optimal ability to create the reality that you desire. But these people have been playing games, struggling around an unconventional aspect of your relationship. If they say that race doesn't matter, that's a lie. If they say that age doesn't matter, that's a lie. If they say that, oh, I support your growth, I'm your authority, I'm just a more mature person here to support you, the authorities are corrupt and they're scamming off the children and the youth such that they don't have what they need to transition into positions of power. Your authorities are extremely corrupt. This person, this divine masculine, they have an ex, and some of them, when they went back to this ex, you saw that as a massive betrayal. Some of them, because of this struggle with the unconventional aspect of your relationship, you can tell that this is really them losing their personal identity. If they're having such a struggle and have been delaying with the death in the reverse, with the King of Pentacles reversed, the Hierophant, and the Knight of Wands, these people truly have not been able to accept and anchor to belief and faith in your relationship. There are superficial and shallow borrowed waters that pose as significant obstacles and challenges in your relationship. Some of you, this companion that you've had has feelings of abandonment that stifle their maturation, like from this ex-partner or from you, previous cycles in your relationship. This is, if, especially if you were younger than this person, they loved you first, and you may have just been around working your occupation. You may have just been associating and relating with them through your occupation or as a child, but this person has not been able to complete, and they have sensual experiences with you. So they are very driven by their selfish and intense desire to have a sensual experience with you, but they have not been able to accept your approach to your lifestyle because it's unconventional, like age, race, or occupation. This person, especially if they have an age difference, they have chosen someone else. If they're older than you, they have chosen someone else. They decided to stay with their ex. They decided to go back to their ex, or they decided to hide who they truly are, which is the harmonious and tantric union that they have with you. And if they are not honoring the relationship, they have made a conscious decision to betray the relationship and lose their personal identity. Their motivations to coming around you are to play a game. If you are engaging with this person on social media, this person betrays you in on social media. They go and have other unions. They express to other people who are your enemies. They go explore shallow relationships that fall short by quite the distance, if we're being honest. These people do not reflect their true identity and who they are. They have decided to suppress who they are deeply, which means that they have lost their personal identity. Some of you, after moving through many, many different phases and cycles with this person and being abandoned by them or being isolated from them, with purity and devotion, some of them want to come back to you. They want to marry you and have a child with you after going through many different phases of cycles where people were borrowing your water, people were shallow and snarky opportunists where they invested and realized that those were not genuine connection. And this person has done a lot to rationalize their behavior. And this, you know, a lot of this has been their resentment about disagreements that you've had about the relationship. But I think that this is also a reflection of you as well. Through this whole journey with them, while you may have a sensual and tantric experience with them, that is not enough to maintain a relationship. I think that sex and intimacy is one thing, and you could definitely unlock hidden knowledge and wisdom and reach a state of wholeness together. But I think that you truly have grown a resentment in their selfish and intense desire for sex and sensual experiences, but have not offered security around your unconventional relationship. That's super unfair to you. They keep projecting onto you, creating a conflict by this with the same activities that they're engaging in. They have a problem with strippers. Well, I met you at the strip club. You have a problem with my age difference, but I'm your boss, and I tell you what to do, and I guide your entire life and your whole entire boring company. The truth is, if they have an issue with your age, they're probably envious of how young and successful you are. If they have a problem with your taboo central relationship, it's probably because they're overindulgent and they keep trying to look for more and more sensual relationships, and they don't want to own up to the fact that they have a indulgence, an addiction, or they're never satisfied. Um, some of them, they've been with their ex while you have been maturing and growing up and working your occupation, and you may be very different than their ex. You may be very different than where they come from. Okay, some of you guys, you are coming out of isolation, and they come from a big white picket fence with 15 people, and that's just not similar. They have been able to address and approach their life in a totally different way than yours. They have a lot more privileges and a lot more experiences, and if they have not honored you, then that's a deep betrayal that we are not receptive to. They can sit with their white picket fence and just come to you for a tantric experience while projecting issues related to their ex onto you, when it's really them failing to hold themselves responsible for their engagement in your unconventional relationship from the get-go. Okay? Um, I think that you have to decide whether or not you would like to be a mother. Because some of them, after taking you through many trials and tribulations, you guys, you get to the heart of the matter and you have unconditional love for each other. But I think that resentment is what needs to be released in order for you to get to a sacred marriage ceremony or pregnancy. But some of you guys, you are the captain of your fate. You are the master of your soul. If you do not want to have children with this idiot after they took you through hell and high water because they refuse to hold responsibility for their indulgent lifestyle and their failed relationships from their past, then I do not blame you. Okay? But I do think that they have put you at risk. You do feel violated by this person. You do feel abused by this person. You do feel abandoned by this person. And they likewise, especially because some of them loved you first while you were just working your occupation, or, you never expected a structure to form around your unconventional relationship. But, um, you I think that you really just, the relationships have lost a lot of value. Um, and especially the ones who are struggling with race or age, they have truly been abusing, and this has been their tendency to do this. They have been driven by their sensual experience and whatever they desire from you. That's unconventional. And in the same breath, have been unable to hold themselves responsible for this engagement. And them not holding themselves responsible for this engagement puts you at risk in some type of way. Okay? This person keeps scarring, they keep leaving you with a burden. Um, they keep making decisions that are not aligned. And some of you guys, you really need to make a decision. You have options, but some of these options have betrayed your confidence, and some of them have lost their personal identity. Some of them have abused you a lot, and I'm not receptive to any of that. If you are asking for my personal opinion of what you should decide, if someone has betrayed you, if someone has lost their personal identity, you definitely should not marry or get impregnated by someone who's had an issue with your unconventional lifestyle. That means they have a fundamental issue with how you operate. They have a fundamental issue with your star-like quality that makes you unique. So if someone's been having issues with your race, age, occupation, approach to life, that is truly a conventional loser. And is not worth you reproducing. That sounds like a karmic south node union. If you are trying to make a decision of who to, like, you might be struggling to have confidence in someone, I think the person who offers you the most security, the person who has been approaching you in a manner prescribed by the law, someone who is been safe in their approach, okay? If you've had intimate moments with any of these people and they have abandoned their responsibility after being intimate, like getting you pregnant and then abandoning the endeavor, I think you should definitely abort mission, adopt, throw away the child and the relationship. If you have been in a dynamic with someone who's been around watching you struggle for a long time, they have been driven by a selfish and intense desire to come around you as while since you've been a child, and have not been able to honor watching you like a pedophile creep, obsessed on the internet while you mature and grow up and learn life lessons. They have a coercive control and they look like a narcissist. If you're trying to decide if you want a companion at all, I just don't think that any of these options that you see are doing it for you. I think that you lose the more you reveal that they have issues with your unconventional relationship, the less passionate you are about them. Because if they're having an issue, that means that they cannot accept who you are. And that's definitely not something that you should reproduce with. Okay? Um, Thank you so much. Hi, friends. Um, LOL. Um, Eduardo, please get out of my country. How about you do that? But anyways, so yeah, I think that, while you've been on the journey with this person for a long time, they scatter and flee the relationship, and that creates a lot of hardship in the relationship. And I think that that shows you that that is not, I think that there is a relationship where there's purity and devotion, but some of you, they keep going back to their ex, and that creates danger for you, is what I'm hearing, okay? So that's them not holding responsibility to go explore a deep and tenacious insight that they learned with you, with their ex, okay? I think that that just shows you that they're inappropriate. I think that the focus in this matter is definitely around you bringing your ideas to life, and I think that your divine masculines have have succeeded in helping you bring your ideas to life. But whether or not they, mature, whether or not you settle down, have children, and, move to the next level, I think that if they've already shown signs of loss of identity or betraying your confidence by going back to their ex, I think that that's a telltale sign that you should move them away from you very quickly. Okay, if they're still delayed, that means that they're a con artist, a scam, coming around, you know, to engage with you with your occupation, to engage with you for a transaction, to, undermine your feminine energy to get what they, to benefit, but not to offer benefit. Okay, they want you to endure a lot of their scarring. They want you to endure a lot of their hardship. They want you to, stick around and be a mother. And you're just like, I don't have unconditional love for anybody, especially if you're not mothers already. You don't have to have unconditional love for them. In real life, they have to meet conditions. And if they're not meeting conditions, they get ice. Okay? So, yeah, that's true, friend. Okay, so I think that, while they offer you miracles, they help you create the reality that you desire. And you have to decide if children is something that you desire with these people, which means that you would need to release resentment. But some of you guys, you have not, you don't want that. Okay? Um, some of these relationships are still warm. I think that, they don't get all ice. I think that, um, they still get, some of the relationships are still warm. They're still, you can still find passion there, but I think that so much of them struggling with an unconventional aspect has made you lose that. I think that them struggling with the unconventional aspect highlights that this would need to be you would need to approach this situation with purity and devotion and not anything more, because they've already betrayed you, is what I'm hearing, okay? Some of you guys didn't even make it to the bedroom and they had already been struggling, especially those who pro- propose multiculturalism. Like I said, some of them, if they could be really struggling with your body type and some fundamental differences that would suggest that you're better than where they come from. Okay, um, so that's you have to decide who your partner is. Is what I'm hearing, friends. You have to decide who your partner is, and if this is somebody that you want. But I think there's a lot of resentment about differences, and so you just let them know that you're not apologizing, because I'm not really sorry. If the shoe fits, little dick bitch, the resentment is building. Actually, thank you for helping me bring my ideas to life. I'm just here for my paycheck, bitch. Talking about a stake in the future. I don't give a fuck about no kids. I don't give a fuck about no kids. LOL, what? I'm not in the studio apartment. LOL. Myself, reminder, myself, remember shrimp. Reminder to self, remember the shrimps. Especially if you're a stripper working at the club. If their dick is small, just know that they have a chronic problem, and this is a big part of their personality. To go to the strippy is right at home for them, because they'll deal with a lot of women where they can hide, they can use money for affection, when truly they can't satisfy a woman and they can't escape the burden of an inferiority complex. Okay, so if they're a shrimp dick, they may be your twin flame. Okay, they may be divine masculine, but they are out of control with their resentment about their own inferiority complex. Okay, um, so you know that's not your fucking problem. Anybody got a problem with multicultural differences? That's for you to suck a dick, bitch, because you ain't got one. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's read the devotional for today and let's wrap. I think that these companions are truly, especially Little Dick America, there's definitely a con artistry with the little shrimp dicks and who the cultural group that is more likely to have this. Okay? Um, I'm also getting that there is um, they keep, there's a dangerous and toxic projection from their ex that they keep getting triggered by. And so just leave them there. They keep, if they're looking for something conventional, let them stay in their convention. I like you too. Uh-uh. Call me Jumbo Shrimp. Bro, you are such a terrible person. I am such a terrible person, yeah, when I call out that you are inferior. Okay? The reason why black people can't be in power is because of your small dick. That's the trigger. You can't handle my spicy accountantry. You can't handle seeing me have sex and orgasms. You can't handle me. Some of these people, y'all, it's just speaking from experience, I'm a part of the collective. If you have an older partner where they may be struggling with a sexual dysfunction, organ inferior, like I said, Shrimp Dick America, that like to come to the club, okay? They like to come to the club to hide behind the fact that they're actually not desired. Um, some of you guys, it was a miracle that they found you, that you were fluid within your sexuality, that you didn't need to get dick down. It was a miracle that they found true love with you. But they have done so much to escape their responsibility that you just are saying fuck them. Some of you guys are losing. You just say fuck them, okay? Especially if they dick small. You know it's a big problem, okay? But I think, like I said, speaking from experience, if there's a big age difference with someone, or there's an unconventional aspect of the relationship um, with someone, you'll always be the terrible person. You'll always be the terrible person when you can't accept the facts of reality about your inferiority. Um, yeah, such a terrible person for telling you the truth. Like I said, I'm not apologizing because I'm not really sorry. You inverted shaped ass bitch. I'm not apologizing because I'm not really sorry. You ugly yuck mouth bitch. I'm not apologizing because I'm not sorry. You stringy lice headed ass bitch. I'm not apologizing because I'm not sorry, little dick bitch. I'm not apologizing. Some of you, if you, like I said, speaking from experience, if you've been with an older person since you were a child and you were just working your occupation, or you were just naively exploring your options and dating, some of these older divine masculines have grown irrationally mad watching you explore your options and just being a child, and just, they've had expectations of you, because they loved you first and you were just not cognitively developed to realize that they were your divine masculine. Now, while they may have been a sensual experience, you might have even felt like you've reached wholeness with this person. You felt like they were a miracle. They helped increase your consciousness in a way. I think that by the time you reached wholeness or got felt completed in a way, they had already grew resentful around your relationship. And it's so irrational because you knew that there were there was immaturity with a big age difference in the first place. But like you want to castrate someone for being younger than them, but you were pursuing them. Some of them, especially, if it's unconventional, they could be making grand promises of crossing a threshold. They could be making grand promises of marriage or a future commitment. This person has not come into balance about, an unconventional relationship, and they have a negative thought pattern on repeat about this gift of true love that they've received with you. And they have been very con artistry, scammy, because they want you to continue to offer them things, but they have not fully been able to give you what you need. And I think that you truly have been getting resentful around the dynamic. But like I said, they're not balanced about something, and still hold they have their thoughts still hold resentments. And some of you guys, you're a mother and you love unconditionally. And so some of y'all are just like, this is weird that I have to struggle with this divine masculine where you are the mother, or you're the reason for a book, baby, or business, and they have been playing games or scarring. It's so strange that women have to bear the burden of unconditional love, while these men come around battering women because they are not able to release resentment when that woman is responsible for everything that has been created in their whole boring ass life. So you decide, you decide. It's your decision. You are the master of your fate. The great thing about this channel is that we're not some woo-woo psychic telling you, promising you some, you know, ideal utopian fortune. That it's always a matter of your free will. And some of you, with this free will, you decide to say, hey, thank you for helping me create the reality that I desire, but you can't touch me. Especially if they've been showing signs or issues of, issues around multiculturalism. That's the biggest drawing of the line. If they had an issue about a multicultural issue, definitely it's a no. Keep it in the family is what I'm hearing. Some of y'all might just keep it in the family because some of them, they have a big problem with your multicultural difference, and you do with the information as you will. Some of them are shrimp dicks, okay? Some of them, they don't have Coke bottles. You know, it's not likely. It's not, that's not the advantageous traits that were passed down from the common ancestry. Their cultural group were not blessed as much. They might have nice, long, pretty, stringy, nice hair, but they don't have the body, yada, yada. It's very rare to find that, okay? Or they're more likely to have organ inferiority, which means that their cultural group is more prone to these kinds of defects. And that tells you who you should and should not reproduce with. Don't want you on my bloodline. Just here to have a good time, okay? LOL. Some of y'all may have told that person that. But anyways, that's what I'm seeing, friends. Like, don't apologize for shit. If this person is resentful about something, let them. And see how those tables, they always turn. You want to make me your enemy? You want to make me your enemy? You want to play, like, you want to, like, some of them, you're the mother of their child and they're going out full, they're going into a full on combat and war against you. um some of you guys are just losing attraction, okay? You're like, I don't want to have kids. um and I think the decision is, if I think you have to choose wisely around you have options of people who are offering you marriage. Some of these people are still married. There's a lot of scrutiny from the relationship as a home worker. Some of y'all. Some of you, these are scams. They're false people, okay? They're really here to work on their finances and career, especially the multicultural differences. They're really here to compete for power and wealth, okay? Especially if their name starts with the letter E or a letter A or a letter N. Some of them, if they have gone back to their ex, that is someone who they tried to replace you with, or they tried to go build their ex. Some of them, they have been in isolation, but they have been waiting for you. Some of them are waiting for you to bring your ideas to life more. So it's, you have to decide, choose wisely. And a lot of this is mysticism. So it could be hard, especially when you don't have everything you need in the material realm to make any decisions. But if they're much older than you, or they've been showing signs of issues with an age difference, or they've had health issues, just say no. I think, especially if they're much older than you. I'm gonna say like 20 to 30 years is not that much. But like if we're getting to, like, if someone's 70 years old, like 70 years old or 40 years older than you, I would say like 30 to 40 years older than you is like too much. Some of them have been, if they're older than you, they're already at the south node. And this is not, they are already ridden with disease. They've already lost wealth, or they're the shadow sides of wealth. I think that large age differences, relationships are really bad. If these are unconventional relationships and the fact that they differ in race, I am not going to say that interracial relationships are not true love and that they cannot work out. But some of them, if they have birth defects or if they have inferiority complexes from their racial group, I think you should definitely reconsider if motherhood is likely or if they're able. Some of them are just here to compete for influence, and they'll try to give it to their convention, or they'll try to prop up a convention, and so that's a competition. That person is your worst enemy. But there is someone here that has been in isolation. They don't have any kids, or they are struggling. One of them is struggling with trust issues. But I think that you need to discern which option to have confidence in. But if they've already betrayed your confidence and you're aware of a betrayal, just do not take betrayals lightly. If they've already betrayed you, then they're likely to do it again. Okay? Some of them are promising not to ever betray you again, but you have not been able to release resentment, and so that means that the relationships are over. I think either whatever you decide, some of you guys will be deciding to stay in isolation, and this would mean that you need to remove people from positions of leadership in your organization or in the government. um, some of them, you really, they are your worst enemy. After you, if you decide to stay in isolation and not forgive them, then they become public enemy number one, through the satellite, lol. But for others, I think that either whatever you decide, especially if you decide to stay in isolation, you get what you want because you have the psychic advantage, and you always get what you want. So if they, they might get mad at you for not wanting to stay with them, but I think that if they've already betrayed or let you down or indicated an issue about your unconventional life and approach and personality, you're not comfortable, so it doesn't matter. Okay, um, if that makes sense. Um, Hi, beautiful. Hi, thank you. But yeah, I think a lot of you, you're like, oh my god, if these are the options that I have to choose from, and you're just like, none of them. You're like, these are the options. These are the options that I have to choose from. Like, none of them sound appealing. And so some of you guys just decide to stay in isolation and strategize to take them out of power. They will be losing their fortune. A lot of them will be losing their fortune. If they went back to their ex, something where there's danger if they went back to their ex, okay? If they um, you might be the dangerous friend. Okay, you might be the one with the AK in this bitch. Okay, so I think that some of these people, if you don't choose to forgive them or release resentment, they become the competition. So honestly, I don't want to be a bad influence, but if they've already let you down in a way, by this point, they're all competition. If they're all an enemy, everybody, it's you against them, especially if they've been having a hard time with your unconventional relationship. That means they have a problem with your personality or your approach to your life. Some of them are just mad because you were more successful at a young age. Um, so that's what I'm seeing, friends, about what is going on. Hope there was some channel messages somewhere in there that you can, that will help you if you're feeling discouraged and troubled. Okay. We have Matthew 5, 14 to 15. The lighthouses. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. It's clearly your house, okay? Um, who house is it? It's my house. Your house is on a hill. Your house is a lighthouse, and let freedom reign in this bitch, because some of these people have been con artists to try to stop something, to hide something, to hide an organ inferiority complex, to hide their jealousy about your age, to hide, but you surviving all of this betraying of your confidence and their inappropriate family. I think that you truly shine the light of God's truth on everyone. So continue living. The more you live, the more they reduce, especially if they thought that they were going to go build more of their business with their ex. You got another motherfucking thing coming if you think your boring company is going to beat Divas Can Manifest org. If you want to be my enemy, that's a bad decision to make. Okay? Your house is a lighthouse, and it's inevitable that you will shine the light of God's truth. And newsflash, evil does not win. Okay? Not with your psychic advantage. Bitch. Multicultural that, you inverted shaped ass hoe. There's a good reason why lighthouses were built. For hundreds of years, they've shined brightly across harbors around the world, guiding ships safely to shore. The premise was simple. Put the light up high where it can easily be seen. You are easily seen. Okay? Remember that. You are the lighthouse, and everyone is looking at your house like, Oh my God, let me project onto their age. Let me project onto their unconventional approach to their life. Let me project onto their beauty because my multicultural house doesn't look like that. Yeah, your multicultural house is boring as fuck. That's why you stay at the club, bitch. Jesus is the light of the world. That light wasn't meant to be hidden away. It's meant to be put up high, where everyone can easily see it. And as his followers, we are all called to shine brightly for him in such a way that others can see it for themselves. We don't hide it away. We boldly light the way of Christ. God, help me not to hide my light. Give me boldness of faith to be a source of light for everyone who comes in contact with me. I want to shine brightly so that others can step out of the darkness and join me in your marvelous light. These organ inferiority complex or these people who are struggling with unconventional aspects of your relationships are truly getting forced, especially with your psychic advantage, getting forced to step out of the darkness. Okay? These people have been in darkness projecting onto something unconventional about you. This is this cannot be hidden any longer. So that's what makes you safe is that your house is on a hill and you are protected from people who have a multicultural issue, people who have an issue with your age, or people who have an issue with some other your occupation or some other or fundamental aspect of your life that involves your approach. Um, these people who have been in the shadows, they cannot hide from this light. No age, no race, no social class, no wealth, nothing could stop you. Nothing will stop you from shining the light of God's truth. Okay? We don't hide it away. We're not hiding it away. So it's me versus you, and you know who they picking. Try me if you want to. All right? Tell them, collective. Try me if you want to. I've gone through the darkest periods of my life in isolation. So I woke up today and my only job was to like myself. Your like is extra. Multicultural little dick bitch. Okay? Okay. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We are here every first and third Sunday. This is a Bible Gateway for Christians new to tarot. This is helping you release a religious dogma, helping you embrace the separation of church and state, helping you evolve a religious dogma that is an outmoded belief or creating negative thought patterns. This Bible Gateway for Christians new to tarot is helping us understand what is true with technology and spirituality. I'll see you guys next time and over on Exo Felicia Trees for yoga, resuming next week as well. But until next time, you guys, stay blessed, stay safe, and stay connected through the light, to the light through the cosmos with other light beings, okay? I know that it could feel like these are the options, like all of these people feel so inappropriate, you know, because if they've already, you know, they feel so inappropriate. So some, like if you're not happy with your options, stay in isolation and wait for these other people to get moved out of their positions. Like some of these people, especially if they're officials, authorities, they're getting asked to resign, they're getting impeached. um some of them have just already chosen someone else, like their ex. They've already chosen to fulfill somewhere else, and you're just like, that just means that you're at the soft no forever and that you don't have a purpose to fulfill. You're not happy, so it doesn't matter if they're somewhere else because you know that they suck. um but I think that you will make the decision that brings you the greatest amount of happiness. And you know, some of this, you do have a divine masculine that gives you the optimal reality that you desire. So choose the partner that matches your lifestyle. So that's a big sign. Choose the person who matches your lifestyle. It doesn't even matter anymore. It's just for financial security. Okay? Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys